morning sun cast long shadows across Windsor Castle as Sarah Mitchell, the royal archivist, carefully sorted through Prince Philip's personal belongings. 3 years had passed since the Duke of Edinburgh's death, and the family had finally decided to organize his private study. Sarah had worked for the royal family for over 2 decades, but she had never been assigned such a delicate task. As she moved through boxes of correspondence and personal mementos, her fingers brushed against the leather-bound folder tucked behind, a collection of naval photographs. The folder felt heavier than expected, and when she opened it, her breath caught in her throat. Inside was a document bearing Prince Philip's signature and the official seal of his personal solicitor. The document was dated just 6 months before Prince Philip's death. Sarah's hands trembled slightly as she read the opening lines. This wasn't just any document. It was a private will, separate from his official testament that had already been read to the family. The existence of this second will had been unknown to everyone, including the Queen herself. Sarah immediately understood the gravity of her discovery. Royal protocol demanded that she contact the palace's legal team immediately, but something made her pause. The document contained specific instructions about its disclosure, stating that it should only be revealed when the time is right for the future of the monarchy. Prince Philip had also included a personal note explaining his reasoning for keeping this will secret. Within hours, news of the discovery had reached the highest levels of the royal household. Private Secretary Sir Edward Young was among the first to review the document, and his reaction was one of complete shock. The contents of this secret will would change everything the public thought they knew about Prince Philip's final wishes and his vision for the royal family's future. The legal team worked through the night to verify the document's authenticity. Every signature was analyzed, every seal examined, and every legal requirement checked. By dawn, they had confirmed what Sarah had suspected. This was indeed a legitimate legal document that would have significant implications for the royal family. Meanwhile, Princess Catherine was attending a charity event in London, completely unaware that her life was about to change dramatically. She smiled gracefully at the cameras and spoke warmly with the children at the youth center, having no idea that Prince Philip had made provisions for her that would elevate her status within the royal family in ways she never could have imagined. Queen Camilla was also going about her royal duties as usual, reviewing plans for an upcoming state visit and discussing her patronage commitments with her private secretary. She had grown comfortable in her role as queen consort and felt secure in her position within the family hierarchy. The revelation of Prince Philip's secret will would soon challenge that security in unexpected ways. The palace's senior advisors gathered for an emergency meeting that evening. The atmosphere in the room was tense as they discussed how to handle this unprecedented situation. Never before had a senior royal left such detailed and specific instructions about the family's future direction. Prince Philip's final wishes would require careful consideration and delicate handling. As news of the secret will began to circulate among the palace staff, rumors started to spread. Whispers filled the corridors about dramatic changes coming to the royal family. Some staff members speculated about what Prince Philip might have written, while others worried about how these revelations might affect their own positions within the household. The discovery of Prince Philip's secret will marked the beginning of a series of events that would reshape the modern monarchy. His final gift to the royal family was not just his wisdom and guidance, but a carefully crafted plan for ensuring the institution's survival and relevance in the 21st century. The contents of this document would soon become the talk of not just the palace, but the entire world. The royal family's private solicitor, James Harrison, sat in the ornate conference room at Buckingham Palace with the secret will spread before him. King Charles had requested a full briefing on the document's contents before deciding how to proceed. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation as Harrison prepared to read Prince Philip's final wishes aloud. The will began with a heartfelt message to the royal family, expressing Prince Philip's deep love and his hopes for their future. However, it quickly moved to more specific and surprising provisions. Prince Philip had designated Princess Catherine as the primary beneficiary of several significant bequests that had not been mentioned in his public will. Most shocking was Prince Philip's decision to leave Catherine his personal collection of rare books and manuscripts. It's valued at over £3 million. These weren't just valuable items, they included historically significant documents related to the monarchy's evolution and Prince Philip's own insights into royal duty. The collection also contained his personal journals spanning 50 years of royal service. Even more surprising was Prince Philip's provision that Catherine should receive his private study at Sandringham Estate, along with its contents and a substantial endowment for its maintenance. This room had been Prince Philip's sanctuary, where he had spent countless hours reading, writing, and planning his royal engagements. No one outside the immediate family had ever been granted such access to his personal space. The will also revealed Prince Philip's thoughts about the future of the monarchy. He had written extensively about his belief that Catherine represented the perfect bridge between tradition and modernity. In his own words, he described her as the daughter-in-law who truly understands what it means to serve with grace and humility. These were powerful words from a man known for his direct and sometimes harsh judgments. Prince Philip had also established a special trust fund in Catherine's name, designed to support her charitable work and royal duties. The fund, worth over £5 million, was specifically earmarked for causes related to children's welfare and education, areas where Catherine had already shown tremendous dedication and impact. Perhaps most intriguingly, the will contained detailed instructions for Catherine regarding the preservation of royal traditions. Prince Philip had entrusted her with maintaining certain family customs and ensuring they were passed down to future generations. This responsibility traditionally fell to the Queen Consort, making Prince Philip's choice all the more significant. The document also included personal letters addressed to various family members, but the letter for Catherine was particularly lengthy and affectionate. In it, Prince Philip praised her dedication to William and her natural ability to connect with people from all walks of life. He wrote about how impressed he had been with her transformation from a commoner to a respected royal figure. Queen Camilla's name appeared in the will, but in a much more limited capacity. While Prince Philip expressed respect for her role in Charles's life, the provisions for her were primarily ceremonial items and modest financial gifts. The contrast between her bequests and Catherine's was impossible to ignore, and everyone in the room understood the implications. The will also contained Prince Philip's reasoning for keeping these provisions secret. He had wanted to ensure that his decisions were based purely on merit and his observations of family members' contributions to the monarchy. He feared that announcing his intentions earlier might have influenced behavior or created unnecessary family tensions. Harrison continued reading Prince Philip's explanation of his choices. The Duke had observed Catherine's natural leadership qualities and her ability to modernize royal traditions without losing their essence. He believed she possessed the rare combination of authenticity and regal bearing that would be essential for the monarchy's future success. The final section of the will contained Prince Philip's hope that his bequests to Catherine would strengthen her position within the royal family and provide her with the resources and authority needed to guide the monarchy through future challenges. He had envisioned her as a key figure in ensuring the institution's relevance for generations to come. As Harrison finished reading, the room fell silent. Everyone present understood they had just heard something that would fundamentally change the dynamics within the royal family. Prince Philip's secret will was not just about distributing his possessions, it was his final strategic move to shape the monarchy's future direction. King Charles received the news of his father's secret will while reviewing state papers in his private study at Clarence House. His private secretary delivered the briefing personally, understanding the sensitive nature of the revelations. Charles listened intently, occasionally asking for clarification on specific points, but his expression remained carefully neutral throughout the presentation. When the briefing concluded, Charles sat in silence for several minutes, processing the magnitude of his father's final decisions. He had always known that Prince Philip held Catherine in high regard, but the extent of the provisions in her favor was unexpected. Charles understood that his father's choices reflected years of careful observation and consideration of each family member's contributions to the monarchy. The king's first concern was how this revelation would affect family unity. He knew that Queen Camilla would be surprised and possibly hurt by the limited provisions made for her in the secret will. Charles had worked hard to ensure Camilla's acceptance within the royal family, and he worried that Prince Philip's final wishes might undermine those efforts. Princess Catherine learned about the will during a private meeting with Charles at Windsor Castle. She had been summoned urgently from her engagements, and she initially feared that something terrible had happened to one of the family members. When Charles explained the situation, Catherine's first reaction was complete shock, followed by a deep sense of responsibility. Catherine had genuinely loved and respected Prince Philip, appreciating his direct manner and his wealth of experience. She had often sought his advice on royal matters, and he had been generous with his guidance. However, she had never expected such significant recognition of her role within the family, especially in comparison to Queen Camilla's position. Princess of Wales spent hours that evening reading through Prince Philip's personal letter to her. His words were both encouraging and challenging. His expectations for her future role and the responsibilities that came with his bequests. Catherine felt honored but also overwhelmed by the trust Prince Philip had placed in her. Prince William's reaction was one of pride mixed with concern. He was proud that his grandfather had recognized Catherine's contributions and character, but he worried about the potential family tensions this might create. William had always been protective of both his wife and his stepmother, and he knew that managing this situation would require careful diplomacy. Queen Camilla learned about the will's contents during a private dinner with Charles. Her initial reaction was gracious acceptance, though those close to her could see the disappointment in her eyes. Camilla had spent years building her relationship with Prince Philip, and while their connection had been cordial, it was clear that he had not developed the same deep appreciation for her that he had for Catherine. Despite her personal feelings, Camilla understood the reasoning behind Prince Philip's decisions. She had observed Catherine's natural ease with royal duties and her genuine connection with the public. Camilla also recognized that Catherine represented the future of the monarchy in ways that she, as an older generation member, could not. The revelation created an interesting dynamic between the two women. Catherine made immediate efforts to reach out to Camilla, expressing her surprise at Prince Philip's provisions and her commitment to maintaining family harmony. These conversations were delicate but necessary, as both women understood the importance of presenting a united front to the public. Other family members had varied reactions to the news. Princess Anne, known for her practical nature, saw the logic in her father's choices and supported his decisions. Prince Edward and Sophie were surprised but accepting, recognizing Catherine's growing influence within the family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, though distant from daily royal duties, were informed of the developments through official channels. Palace staff began to notice subtle changes in how Catherine was treated within the royal household. Senior courtiers, understanding the implications of Prince Philip's will, began to defer to her opinions more frequently. Catherine found herself being consulted on matters that had previously been handled entirely by other family members or palace officials. The legal implications of the will were also becoming clear. Catherine would need to establish new administrative structures to manage her increased responsibilities and the trust fund Prince Philip had created. This required coordination with existing royal financial systems and careful planning to ensure everything operated smoothly, as news of the secret will remained within the family circle. There was growing awareness that public revelation was inevitable. The palace communications team began developing strategies for managing the announcement. Knowing that the public and media would be intensely interested in Prince Philip's final wishes and their implications for the royal family's future, discovery of Prince Philip's secret will had fundamentally altered the family dynamics, creating new responsibilities for Catherine, while challenging everyone to adapt to his vision for the monarchy's future. The coming weeks would test the family's ability to honor Prince Philip's wishes while maintaining the unity and stability that had always been essential to their public role. The palace communications team had worked tirelessly for weeks preparing for the public announcement of Prince Philip's secret will. They knew that the revelation would create intense media scrutiny and public interest, requiring careful management to protect the royal family's reputation while honoring Prince Philip's wishes. The announcement was scheduled for a Tuesday morning, allowing time for proper media briefings and public response. The official statement was released. The carefully worded announcement explained that a previously unknown will had been discovered among Prince Philip's personal effects, containing additional provisions that reflected his deep consideration for the monarchy's future. The statement emphasized that all legal requirements had been met and that the family was committed to honoring Prince Philip's final wishes. Within minutes of the announcement, whose websites crashed from the volume of traffic as people rushed to read about Prince Philip's secret provisions, social media platforms exploded with discussions, theories, and reactions from royal watchers around the globe. The hashtag Philip's secret will began trending immediately with thousands of posts. Analyzing every detail of the revelation, British newspapers prepared special editions with extensive coverage of the story. Royal correspondents who had covered the family for decades found themselves in uncharted territory, trying to analyze the implications of provisions that no one had anticipated. The general consensus among experts was that Prince Philip's choices reflected his deep understanding of what the monarchy needed for future success. Television. News programs cleared their schedules to provide comprehensive coverage of the story. Royal biographers and constitutional experts were brought in to discuss the historical significance of Prince Philip's decisions. Many commentators noted that the Duke of Edinburgh had always been known for his strategic thinking and his commitment to the monarchy's long-term survival. The public reaction was overwhelmingly positive toward Catherine. Opinion polls conducted within days of the announcement showed that the majority of British citizens approved of Prince Philip's choice to recognize her contributions so significantly. Many people expressed admiration for her journey from commoner to respected royal figure and saw Prince Philip's provisions as validation of her efforts. International media coverage was equally intense, with news outlets from around the world analyzing the story's implications for the British monarchy's global influence. American networks devoted extensive coverage to the revelation, particularly focusing on Catherine's role and what it might mean for the royal family's relationship with the Commonwealth nations. The story dominated social media for weeks, with royal fans creating detailed analyses of Prince Philip's letter to Catherine and speculating about how his bequests might change her role within the family. Many posts celebrated Catherine's recognition while expressing sympathy for Queen Camilla's position in the situation. Catherine's first public appearance after the announcement was at a children's hospital in London. The crowd's reaction was noticeably different from previous visits, with people expressing even greater enthusiasm and respect for her presence. During her walkabout, numerous well-wishers congratulated her on Prince Philip's recognition and expressed their support for her future role. The Princess of Wales handled the attention with characteristic grace. Words while redirecting focus to the charitable cause she was supporting. Her response to questions about Prince Philip's will was dignified and respectful, emphasizing her gratitude for his trust and her commitment to honoring his memory through service. Queen Camilla's public appearances during this period were closely watched for signs of tension or discomfort. However, she maintained her composure and professionalism throughout, continuing with her scheduled engagements and royal duties. Her dignified response to the situation earned respect from many observers who appreciated her handling of a potentially awkward situation. The royal family's united front was evident during their first joint public appearance after the announcement. At a state banquet for visiting dignitaries, Catherine and Camilla were seen interacting warmly, demonstrating that Prince Philip's revelations had not damaged their relationship. This public display of harmony helped reassure both the media and the public that family unity remained strong. Behind the scenes, palace staff worked to implement the practical aspects of Prince Philip's provisions. Catherine's new responsibilities required additional administrative support, and arrangements were made to provide her with the resources needed to manage her expanded role effectively. The trust fund Prince Philip had established required new financial oversight and coordination with existing royal financial structures. Royal historians began analyzing Prince Philip's secret will within the broader context of royal history, noting that while unusual, it reflected the Duke's lifelong commitment to strengthening the monarchy. Many scholars pointed out that his provisions for Catherine demonstrated his understanding of changing public expectations and the need for the royal family to evolve with the times. The revelation also sparked broader discussions about the role of senior royals in shaping the institution's future. Constitutional experts debated whether Prince Philip's influence from beyond the grave set important precedents for how senior family members might guide the monarchy's direction through their final wishes and bequests. As the initial media frenzy began to settle, it became clear that Prince Philip's secret will had achieved something remarkable, rather than creating lasting division or controversy. It had reinforced public support for the monarchy while highlighting the importance of service, dedication, and forward-thinking leadership in maintaining the institution's relevance for future generations. 3 months after the revelation of Prince Philip's secret will, Catherine began to fully embrace the new responsibilities and opportunities that came with his unexpected bequests. Her first major initiative was establishing the Prince Philip Foundation for Youth Development, using a portion of the trust fund he had created for her charitable work. The foundation aimed to provide educational opportunities and mentorship programs for disadvantaged young people across the United Kingdom. Catherine's decision to honor Prince Philip's memory through youth-focused charitable work resonated strongly with the public. She had always been passionate about children's welfare and education. The additional resources allowed her to expand her impact significantly. The foundation's launch event at the Royal Festival Hall drew hundreds of supporters and raised substantial additional funds for the organization's programs. The princess also began spending time in Prince Philip's former study at Sandringham estate, which had become hers according to his will. The room, filled with decades of Prince Philip's personal papers, books, and mementos, provided Catherine with unique insights into his thinking about the monarchy's role and future. She often worked there while the family was in residence, finding inspiration in the space where Prince Philip had planned so many of his initiatives. Among Prince Philip's papers, Catherine discovered detailed notes about modernizing royal protocols and making the monarchy more accessible to ordinary citizens. His ideas included suggestions for using technology to connect with younger generations and proposals for making royal residences more environmentally sustainable. Catherine began implementing some of these ideas, working with palace staff to develop new digital engagement strategies. The rare book collection that Prince Philip had left to Catherine proved to be even more valuable than initially assessed. Several manuscripts contained previously unknown historical details about the royal family's evolution during the 20th century. Catherine arranged for these documents to be properly cataloged and made available to historians and researchers. Ensuring that Prince Philip's contribution to royal scholarship would continue, Catherine's expanded influence within the royal family became apparent during planning for major ceremonial events. Her opinions were now sought on everything from guest lists to protocol arrangements, reflecting her elevated status following Prince Philip's provisions. Palace courtiers noted that her natural diplomatic skills and attention to detail made her an invaluable contributor to these important occasions. The Princess of Wales also began taking on some responsibilities that had traditionally fallen to Queen Camilla. This transition was handled with careful coordination between the two women, who worked together to ensure smooth operations and avoid any public perception of conflict. Catherine's additional duties included representing the royal family at certain Commonwealth events and taking a larger role in state visit preparations. Catherine's relationship with Prince Philip's former private secretary and closest advisors deepened as they shared stories and insights about the Duke's vision for the monarchy. These conversations helped Catherine understand not just what Prince Philip had wanted to accomplish, but how he had approached the challenges of royal service throughout his long career. The trust fund that Prince Philip had established for Catherine generated significant annual income, allowing her to support causes that might not have received royal patronage otherwise. She used these resources to fund innovative pilot programs in education and youth development, often supporting smaller organizations that showed promise but lacked major donors. Catherine's increased profile also brought new security considerations and protocol adjustments. The palace security team expanded her protection detail, and her schedule required more careful coordination with other family members' activities. Despite these changes, Catherine maintained her commitment to hands-on charitable work and direct public engagement, international recognition of Catherine's enhanced role came through invitations to speak at global conferences on youth development and education. Her first major international address was delivered at a UNESCO conference in Paris, where she outlined her vision for using technology and innovation to expand educational opportunities worldwide. The princess also began hosting regular meetings with young entrepreneurs and social innovators, using Prince Philip's former study as a setting for discussions about addressing contemporary challenges. These gatherings, known as the Sandringham Sessions, became highly sought after opportunities for young leaders to share their ideas with senior royals. Catherine's work with the Prince Philip Foundation attracted support from major corporations and philanthropists who admired both Prince Philip's legacy and Catherine's approach to charitable leadership. The foundation's board included prominent business leaders, educators, and youth advocates who shared Catherine's vision for creating lasting positive change as Catherine settled into her expanded role. She remained mindful of Prince Philip's emphasis on service and duty. She often referenced his example in her speeches, crediting him with teaching her that effective royal service required both personal dedication and strategic thinking about long-term impact. The princess's handling of her new responsibilities earned praise from constitutional experts and royal biographers, and noted that she had managed to honor Prince Philip's trust while maintaining her own authentic approach to royal duty. Her success in balancing traditional expectations with modern innovation reflected the qualities that had originally impressed Prince Philip and led to his remarkable provisions in her favor. Through her expanded charitable work, enhanced influence within the royal family, and careful stewardship of Prince Philip's legacy, Catherine demonstrated that his confidence in her abilities had been well placed. She had grown into the leadership role he had envisioned for her, contributing to the monarchy's continued relevance and public support in an era of rapid social change. 1 year after the revelation of Prince Philip's secret will, the impact of his final wishes had transformed not only Catherine's role within the royal family, but also the monarchy's approach to modern challenges. The Prince Philip Foundation for Youth Development had already reached over 10,000 young people across the United Kingdom, providing scholarships, mentorship programs, and skills training that created real opportunities for advancement. Catherine's quarterly reports to the royal family about the foundation's progress impressed even the most skeptical courtiers. Her methodical approach to measuring impact and ensuring accountability reflected Prince Philip's own emphasis on efficiency and efficiency. Results. The foundation had become a model for royal charitable work, demonstrating how traditional patronage could evolve to create meaningful change. The relationship between Catherine and Queen Camilla had strengthened considerably during this period. Both women recognized that their different strengths complemented each other. They began collaborating on joint initiatives that combined Camilla's experience with literacy programs and separate self-conservatives. Catherine's focus on youth development, their partnership became a symbol of the royal family's ability to adapt and work together. Despite unexpected changes, international recognition of Catherine's expanded role continued to grow. She received invitations to address the United Nations General Assembly about youth empowerment and was appointed as a special ambassador for Commonwealth youth development. These honors reflected not only her personal achievements but also Prince Philip's strategic vision for positioning the younger generation of royals as global leaders. The historical documents from Prince Philip's collection that Catherine had made available to researchers began yielding fascinating insights into royal decision-making during crucial periods of the 20th century. Several academic papers and books were published based on these materials, ensuring that Prince Philip's intellectual contributions would influence royal scholarship for generations to come. Catherine's use of Prince Philip's former study at Sandringham had become legendary among palace staff and family members. She had transformed it into a working space where traditional royal duties merged with innovative approaches to public service. The room, once Prince Philip's private retreat, had become a hub of creative thinking about the monarchy's future. The Sandringham sessions that Catherine hosted had evolved into an influential forum for discussing solutions to contemporary challenges. Young leaders from around the world competed for invitations to these gatherings, which had produced several successful policy initiatives and social enterprises. The sessions embodied Prince Philip's belief in the power of bringing together diverse perspectives to solve complex problems. Catherine's children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, had begun to understand their mother's enhanced role within the royal family. They often accompanied her to foundation events and showed genuine interest in the charitable work that had become so central to her identity. Catherine ensured that they understood the responsibility that came with their privileged position. The trust fund that Prince Philip had established continued to generate substantial resources for Catherine's charitable initiatives. Careful investment management had actually increased its value, allowing for even more ambitious programs. Catherine's financial stewardship of these resources earned praise from charity regulators and demonstrated her commitment to maximizing their impact. Public opinion polls consistently showed strong support for Catherine's expanded role and the way she had honored Prince Philip's trust. Her approval ratings had increased significantly since the revelation of the secret will, and she was frequently cited as the most admired member of the royal family among younger demographics. The success of Catherine's initiatives had also influenced other royal family members to reconsider their own approaches to charitable work. Prince Edward and Sophie had restructured their foundation work to focus more on measurable outcomes, while Princess Anne had begun incorporating some of Catherine's digital engagement strategies into her own public appearances. Catherine's relationship with King Charles had deepened as he increasingly relied on her insights for strategic decisions about the monarchy's direction. Their regular private meetings, often held in Prince Philip's former study, covered everything from constitutional matters to public engagement strategies. Charles had come to appreciate Catherine's unique perspective on balancing tradition with innovation. The princess had also begun working on a comprehensive biography of Prince Philip's contributions to modernizing the monarchy, drawing on his personal papers and interviews with those who had worked closely with him. The book would provide definitive insights into his strategic thinking and vision for the royal family's future. Publication was planned to coincide with what would have been his 105th birthday. As Catherine reflected on the year since Prince Philip's secret will had been revealed, she often returned to his personal letter to her, which she kept in his former desk. His words about service, duty, and the importance of connecting with people from all backgrounds continued to guide her decisions and inspire her work. The transformation that had begun with the discovery of Prince Philip's secret will had proven his wisdom in recognizing Catherine's potential for leadership. His final gift to the monarchy was not just financial resources or material bequests, but a strategic vision for ensuring the institution's continued relevance and public support. Catherine's success in fulfilling Prince Philip's expectations had validated his belief that the monarchy's future depended on embracing change while preserving essential values. Through her expanded charitable work, enhanced influence within the royal family, and commitment to public service, she had become the bridge between tradition and modernity that Prince Philip had envisioned. The legacy of Prince Philip's secret will would continue to influence the royal family for years to come, not just through the specific provisions he had made, but through the example of strategic thinking and long-term planning he had demonstrated. His final act of leadership had ensured that his vision for a modern, relevant, and service-oriented monarchy would guide the institution well into the future.